All right, we're rolling.
Hey.
This is the 156th episode of iHearIC Radio, which is a show about music mostly featuring people who live and work in Iowa City. That's very much the case today. That's exactly what the show is about. A person who lives in Iowa City who makes music.
True facts.
And that person is my old friend Marc Falk.
Ho!
Welcome to my home. Thank you for coming over to record a conversation with me.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
The long pause before I called you my friend was not because we're not friends.
I was curious what was going to be in the intro. So
Yeah.
That's good.
Even though I'm like a full-grown adult now, I struggle with this sort of... We can say, I guess to start things off, you were one of my professors when I was in college.
Yes.
And so even though we're kind of peers now, we're both just grown-ups now.
Yes.
It's still hard for me to just say, yeah, this is my friend.
For sure.
Yeah,
no, I get it. And I feel the same way about my profs that I had at Iowa.
Yeah.
I might see them in the park and be like, oh, hi, Dr.
Yeah,
so-and-so.
right,
and then
right.
be like, oh, do I have to call you that when we're a 50-year-old and a 70-year-old in the park? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, you having a first name is like difficult
it's kind
for
of
me.
crazy.
Yeah.
I hear you. But I appreciate that you're working, like we're able to move into that
Yeah.
more like peers
Yeah.
space.
And, one of the reasons I invited you to do this was because I don't see you that often, and, I do like you. It'd be nice to catch up, I think.
Yeah.
And what better way to catch up than on the record for everyone else to hear?
Absolutely. Yes. My kid was asking last night,
Oh, yeah?
is this it just rolls straight from top to bottom and goes out, or is there editing? Are they going to take out the awkward ums and erms and...
Well, I do a little bit of editing,
Yeah.
but I don't, just if there's several seconds of dead air that, I might cut that down a little bit, but if you say anything super embarrassing, I can cut it if you like, but
Excellent.
I try to make this a very casual sort of top to bottom thing.
Yeah.
We can listen to music as well. I don't have anything in particular, planned, but,
Great.
aside from just wanting to say hi, a good reason to have you on the show right now is that your band just released an album this month.
Yes.
Golden Alexander.
Mm-hmm.
The album's called Summertime in Maine.
Yeah.
Why is it called that?
That's a great question. We didn't know if it would have a title track or not. And then we decided maybe it should, if only to have some small amount of coherence and save us from having to come up with some other random funny to us, but not to anybody else.
Then you have to come up with a 12th title aside from all the songs.
Yes, exactly. And we just didn't have, I think we were more, we put out an EP maybe, I'm going to say 4 years, and it's probably 9. And, and spent many wasted hours trying to craft the perfect title for it. And then we're that,
So several years on, you feel like you wasted...
I'm not sure that time. I mean, I'm happy with the title, but we have less time somehow now, I think. So, where it feels like that's a less consequential decision.
Right. Yeah, I mean, just trying to put out music and make it every aspect of this has to be exactly perfect, otherwise it won't succeed.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Stepping back, what does success mean? And is the album title gonna contribute to that, to said success in any perceivable way.
It's been a few weeks now, right? So
it's been a few weeks.
How much have you made off of it so far?
Right, exactly. Seth sent me the Spotify things, which were 40 people have listened to it on Spotify, which, and maybe there's some similar number on Apple Music and some YouTubers and some Amazon so I feel good. I mean, I think
it's not zero.
It's not zero. Yes. We wanted people to hear it, and the people who want to hear it can hear it. Yeah. But no money, I don't think. It's other than us paying.
I don't even know how to get money, to be honest.
I don't either. Yeah. I feel like there's some number that we'd have to get over. Mm-hmm. And that number is so
I mean, when it comes to Spotify in particular, it's no way. There's no chance.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and obviously we're, That's not our main reason for making the music or trying to get it out into the world.
I figured I'd bring it up first because it's a priority.
Right, for sure. Yeah. No, it's funny that way. I think we sort of Summertime in Maine seemed to be like certainly one of our like favorite tracks on the album, and maybe had a name that was slightly less esoteric than some of the other, where we're like, oh, we could name it after This Town's Like a Cemetery, but then you're like, oh, is the whole album going to be about that? Or Last Night of the World, is it all a like dystopian hellscape? Right. And then we were like, no, this is nice.
Summertime in Maine just conjures kind of a nice image.
Yeah. And we figured inviting. Like dropping it in May, it could be your like, you could listen to it at a barbecue. You could,
somebody will see it and they're like, I'm going to Maine this summer. This is
right,
perfect.
Right. Or maybe we can sell it to the Maine tourism board if we position it correctly.
Yeah. They need a lot of help. Mm-hmm. They don't get a lot of visitors in the summer.
Nobody goes to Maine. Yeah. That's a good point.
Maybe before we keep yapping, maybe we could just listen to the song.
Super.
The title track, Summertime in Maine.
Yeah.
To give anyone listening to this, some idea of what your band sounds like.
Cool.
And that is track number 2.
2.
Right. I'll save it. I had something to say about the first one, but Summertime in Maine, from the album Summertime in Maine, recently released by Golden Alexander. Here we go.
certain death. The car gets very quiet.
Summertime in Maine, title track, Golden Alexander, new album. Now back to yapping. Mm-hmm. There's a lot to discuss potentially there. First, I wanted to mention that I saw in the Public Space One newsletter that this album was mostly recorded in the garage over there.
They might have added the mostly.
Well, maybe I'm misremembering
it was.
What they said.
We did the basic tracking at the Magic Barn, in Solon, and then all of the overdubs. So all the extra guitar stuff, extra background vocals, auxiliary percussion.
I might have misquoted them.
Yeah.
This is the exact quote. Recorded in large part. In PS1's Cloud House Garage.
Yes, I think that's true.
There's a large part of the work was done there. Okay.
Yes. I mean, as far as like pure number of tracks, probably more in the Cloud House than at Magic Barn. Mm-hmm. But maybe like, I don't know, sonic density, maybe more, the other way around. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. Yeah, that's where we rehearse. So it was, we didn't have any gigs over the winter. We kind of took a little bit of time off to work on the album. So it was nice to just have kind of a dedicated, 4 hours every week. We're down there, puttering around, and kind of the time and space to.
A lot of people don't realize that, but just, having an amount of time regularly is very beneficial to completing work.
For sure. Yes. Yeah. And PS1 is fantastic. I mean, it's surprisingly hard to find a rehearsal space in this town if you're not. I get if you have kids who need to go to bed, or a spouse who doesn't
other stuff in your house,
you to be making, or neighbors. Yeah. So we were in one of the guys' house, and then that kind of didn't work out. And then we were at a music store that was looking at renting out space to bands, and they did that for about 6 months. And then they were like, actually, this isn't a business that we want to be in. And then we were kind of homeless for a while. So PS1 really, it's a great resource.
Yeah. Music stores generally only want musicians there temporarily, briefly, just in and out.
Yeah, I mean, they had this idea that they were gonna also run a side business as a rent out their big open space, at night. But they decided
not worth it.
I think it was only us, and they needed the space for other stuff. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So while we were listening to that, that's always something that I don't know what to do when I have somebody on the show and we're listening to music. Do we just look at each other for 3 minutes or
stare meaningfully?
So I looked a little bit more closely at the album art, which is it's like a postcard for Maine, right? Yeah. It's got sort of the worn edges and stuff. Who made the art?
My sister, Riza Falk, made the art. Shout out. Thanks for doing that.
Yeah.
With we had kind of an idea, and then she came up with the postcard idea. She was like, what about, I've been getting really into these old fashioned postcards. Oh, yeah. Let me do this. And then, and so all the pictures in it are my family vacation photos from Maine. So that's
oh, cool.
Featuring my children in prominent roles.
I was wondering because you can see a kid in the right side of the N there. Mm-hmm. Very cool.
Yeah.
So that is the subject matter of the song is personal to you.
Yes.
You've been to Maine.
I've been to Maine. We go every summer. Yeah. And
really?
We stay at this particular place with these particular people, and it's sort of my wife's ancestral vacation homeland, as kind of East Coast and waspy as that sounds. There's a cabin and there's a compound up the hill with bunkhouses and whatnot. So it's beautiful. It's a great place to be. And I feel there are two of us who write most of the songs, and I tend to write mostly about my experience and my family and personal things that are going on for me. And then the other, Seth, who writes more of the songs these days, is writing sort of neuroses based, either middle age or sort of state of the world crises. So I write a lot about my kids and what we're up to, and that's what that's about.
I liked the vocal harmonies in that one. Very pleasant.
Thank you.
I also noticed you have a brief guitar solo, and then it happens again at the very end of the track. There's a atmospheric sort of windiness that's building up under you. What is that?
It's so funny. And not a thing that I think we ever would have thought of. The guy who mixed it, a guy named Dustin Duwa, he mostly like took our, like, this is kind of where we're heading, but feel free to do some other things if you want to. So there's some like different kinds of like reverbs and echoes and like additional doubling or slightly weird doubling that, you know, that we didn't think of, but he did. And we were like, oh my God, that's great. And then sometimes he'd go like way too far. We'd be like, no, that's not really us. So that's actually like some kind of weird reverb on the bass that's like kind of crescendoing and whooshing through. Yeah. Which at first I was like, oh my God, that is so like cheesy. You know, like, what are you even thinking? And then as I listened to it more, I was like, oh no, I kind of like that. I mean, it was, we talked a lot at the beginning about, right, like, what's the sort of purpose of an album, and are we does it need to be a thing we could the three of us could recreate live, you know, or not? Like, we used to have a keyboard player. We sort of specifically changed that lineup to like get down to a power trio. But there's keys all over the album because we were like, a lot of these songs, you know, like would sound good with keys. Not that we want to, you know, make the band any bigger, but that kind of atmospheric stuff was like, sure, like it's maybe a more fun listen. Yeah. Why, you know, like probably people who want to listen to it aren't like, please recreate your live show.
If I come see you live, I want it to be a perfect replication.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. I don't think most people are really looking for that out of a show.
Yeah. The discussions weren't very difficult to have, but
I do like that it happens twice also. The reverb growing.
Yeah. It kind of comes back at the end.
And it's bigger at the end. It kind of like overtakes it.
Yep.
It adds an interesting like twist kind of. Because it's kind of just like a nice song about vacation. And then there's like, oh, what's that? Oh,
right, exactly. Yeah. And I don't know. Now. Right. Is it a storm? Is there like, is there a dark,
the return to normal life or something?
Under pine. Oh,
I hadn't thought right.
Exactly.
Back to Iowa.
November in Iowa.
Yeah. Not nearly as cheery of a song.
Right.
Iowa, November.
Right.
I wanted to read the bio off of your band website. Cool. Pull that up real quick. This can be found at goldenalexander2.bandzoogle.com.
Correct.
I was not familiar with Bandzoogle.
Yeah, it's like a EPK hosting site. I mean, I think we could pay more and get more of a full website, but we needed a place to kind of...
Just like a landing page kind of thing?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, I'm reading the bio here so we can learn more about Golden Alexander. Which is a type of plant, right?
It is a type of plant. Yeah. Good job. Did you know that, or did you look it up?
I think I did. I don't know a whole lot about plants, but just sort of vague recollections.
We were just kind of riffing down this packet of like prairie seeds, and it turns out some of the like Little Blue Stem, we were like, oh, that sounds kind of cool. There's like 17 bands called Little Blue Stem. So we had to go like further into the packet. And then we're like, oh, that's cool.
Some of the more niche species.
Exactly. Yeah. Although they're beautiful and they're like all over Iowa City. Yeah. So it's good.
Okay. So I've definitely seen them. I could put a face to the name if I tried. I bet.
Sure. Yep.
Golden Alexander is a dynamic new band rooted in vintage rock and roll with vibrant influences of Americana and power pop. They have been seen locally at venues like Wilson's Orchard, Lionbridge Brewing, Lewine, the Old Neighborhood Pub, and Jubeck Brewing. Where's that?
That's in Dubuque.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
As well as Iowa City's Northside Saturday Nights, Farmers Market, and Party in the Park. Now, this part I have questions about. The band was chosen as a favorite act of Film Scene's Refocus Film Festival by RogerEbert.com.
True fact.
I couldn't find it. I wanted to verify that. But
oh, yeah. If you go to RogerEbert.com's like overall write-up of Refocus 2024, they shout out like also 2 visual artists and 2 musical
very cool
groups.
Yeah. Did I play for them
in
2024?
You opened 2024, I think.
I think that was 23 that I did that.
24 was Night Bitch, though, right? Didn't you guys?
I played before Werner Herzog at the 2023 one.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds right.
Yeah. I played like ambient sets in like one of the theaters a couple times, but I don't remember which years.
Okay.
So we are fellow Refocus artists.
Yes.
I don't think I was mentioned on RogerEbert.com.
I was just like, what a funny thing for a dead film critic to like...
Yeah, I wasn't actually aware that RogerEbert.com was still like a
It seems to
going
actually
concern.
be like a pretty legitimate film criticism. Like, I don't know if he built it and an acolyte took it over, or if they just bought the name when he died. But there's a lot of good criticism there. And we won a film scene raffle at their last, this is a little digression here, which came with a bunch of different stuff, and also this like giant book on women directors, like a big full color coffee table book, which sat kind of on our kitchen table for a long time. And then I realized that the woman who wrote that book was the woman who wrote our review. And I was like, this gal, not only did she write this book, but she loves my band. So
that's great.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I was looking at their website earlier. 1.5 stars to Star Wars, The Mandalorian, and Grogu.
Oh, fair.
It's one of their newest reviews. I don't know if you've seen that movie, but
I have not.
I wouldn't expect it to get a lot of stars at RogerEbert.com, but
Right.
Did you know Jabba the Hutt has a son?
No, I didn't.
He's in the movie.
Oh, is he smaller or bigger? Or similar?
Well, it kind of depends on how you're deciding bigger or smaller.
Yeah,
because he's very muscular.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So he's probably technically weighs less, but he's got like a stronger,
more mass. Yeah,
upper body.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if that's going to make me go see it, but if anybody asks me,
is that interesting enough?
I'll know. I'll know. Yeah. I was glad you went to that bio, because we've got this whole like alternative reality.
Well,
good. Yeah, let's go.
I do have that here.
Let's go.
Well. That's right under it on your page here about the band. And I've already used your real name, so this is almost, I kind of like preempted.
It's good. Yeah.
For Iowa City trio Golden Alexander, music is a family affair. The Alexander brothers, Mark, that's who I'm speaking with, on vocals and guitar, Seth on bass and vocals, and Al on drums, are united by more than their genetic bonds. These triplets share a passion for tight, tuneful rock and roll, drawing inspiration from legends like the Beatles and Byrds, along with contemporaries such as Wilco and Spoon. From their catalog of diverse, inventive, original material to their deep well of delightful covers, Golden Alexander is down-home rock and roll ×3. Very cute.
Yeah, so we built this whole kind of silly backstory.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Ramones, right?
Triplet brothers, kind of.
You have the same last name?
Exactly. Yeah. Yep. And then a guy from the Gazette wrote about us last
I have
year.
That also.
Yes. And we talked, and I was like, we have this silly thing. I don't know what you think. And he was like, that's awesome. Let's do it. So now, like, it's legitimate media says we're Triplet brothers. And then, all last summer, people were like, wow, like all these people at my new job were like, I had no idea you were a triplet. That's so interesting. I'm like, have you looked at us?
Yeah. Yeah, they don't look. Well, I think it actually says that in the Gazette piece. Maybe
that we're not actually triplets,
or that maybe you're fraternal or something. I forget where I saw that. I did a little bit of research.
Yeah. So I don't know. I kind of like when a band has a shtick. Like we do. Wear matching outfits, and we've got this made up backstory.
Do you do a lot of is that part of the show? Like when you play live, do you make reference to that
sometimes,
at all?
Yeah. Not always. I mean, not that much actually. Although we do go on stage as our Alexander triplet.
Yeah, in the
personas.
Right. Playing the characters.
So
it's not quite Guar, but it's
right. Guar inspired. Yeah.
I'm sure that's where the idea came from. Right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, not exactly, but we played a lot of gigs where I don't know. I think we just each dressed up for the gig and what we felt was right for us. But it meant that I was wearing sort of fancy work clothes with a little bit of an edge, and Seth was wearing jeans and a black T-shirt and Doc Martens, and Al was wearing a athleisure kind of tracksuit. And I was just he's
trying to make it more.
It's not really coherent as a band. It looks like three dudes who don't even know each other showed up to play, which I guess is sort of cool.
You could lean into that, maybe.
You could lean into that, or lean into the what if we looked like we were all here with the same mission.
Do you know about Limp Bizkit?
I know the name.
Okay, so do you know who Fred Durst is? The main guy, right? Wes Borland is their guitar player.
Okay.
And he gets really into the image thing, and he'll paint his face, and he's wearing really flashy kind of like dark clothes, and then the rest of the guys just look regular. So that's what that brought to mind for me.
Yeah. No, I like a little bit of visual aesthetic to like also give you something to like have your eyes
think about it,
enjoy while you're hopefully also enjoying the music.
Right. Yeah, a lot of people are real purists. They're like, you might as well close your eyes. Just this is all about the sound. I guess that's me. I guess that's kind of how I do it, because I'd rather not think too hard about what I look like.
Sure. Yeah. No, I respect that. And I feel like also, like we, a lot of our friends come and like their kids and, so I'm just kind of like, what's, like, I don't know. I feel like there's something just like 3% more appealing about it. Like maybe we'll come back because they wore funny shirts, or like, do you think they're really triplets? I don't know. Like you have something to talk about on the way home and not just like, oh, did you like that F sharp diminished chord coming out of the bridge?
Did you hear the reverb get a little bit louder?
The reverb get a little louder, right? Which it won't in concert. I'll like,
back to what I was gonna do earlier. The beginning of the first track here, which is called "Whole Lot of Things." And we just play the first few seconds.
Cool.
Now, to me, this is Foreigner. This is Jukebox Hero.
Ooh.
I don't know. That's just what came to mind.
I think you're right.
First.
That's an unintentional cribbing, but yeah.
Well, I didn't mean to accuse you.
Right. Yeah.
Just, here we go.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, I wouldn't have thought of that as like an influence, but probably.
Oh, well, now that you bring it up,
there.
Aside from the bands listed in the bio that I already read, which was like Wilco and Spoon and the Beatles, what else? What else would you say are your conscious influences?
Conscious influences, yeah. Well, it's been funny having it out in the world and have people being like, oh, this reminds me a little bit of, this, or I'm getting whiffs of that, and some of them I'm like, oh yeah, it totally makes sense. And then other stuff I'm like, if I made a list of 100 things that I think we sound like, that might not even be in the top 100, but cool. Like I love that. And I'm glad that like it, it made you think that. I think it's maybe a little bit different for each of us. I feel like for me, it's more kind of straight up Americana, especially Jayhawks, like the harmony vocals, a little bit of keys and everything just like really, I don't know, kind of fitting together in a beautiful way. Sun Volt, maybe like earlier Wilco, Blue Mountain. And Seth is more like, kind of like Spoon, but also like more sort of power pop, jangle pop y. So I feel like, it's kind of like those things mashing together. But I also just like one of the reasons for going down to a trio is that I like
Rush.
I don't know exactly. Rush, Cream, clearly like three genius prodigy string players with a, but the idea that like everybody has a role and there's nothing extraneous, that like everything that's there
the three of you are like fully,
we are covering it all
times.
Yes, like everybody's singing, everybody's playing, everybody's writing.
How did you guys meet? How do you know these guys?
Yeah, that's a great question. I went to college with Seth's wife, Jada. So maybe like 10-ish years ago at, hang on, I'm going to do some mental arithmetic here. Hold on.
He's counting on his fingers.
Exactly. Yeah. Probably my like 20th college reunion, maybe, like ran into Jada, who was like, oh, we've been living in India for 8 years and we're moving to Iowa City. And I was like, oh, that's great. And she was like, and my husband plays bass and like he really wants to be in a band. And
there you go.
I was like, fantastic.
It fell in your lap.
It kind of did. Yeah. In a really good way. I had been in bands like all through college and then sort of stopped for like 20 years. In hindsight, I have no idea. I mean, I know why, but like in hindsight, I wish I hadn't because it's like so rewarding and so incredibly fun. Even just like even to have like 3 hours a week that you're doing, sort of dedicating to this one thing.
If you can carve that out, like I think it's a very very good thing
so
to do.
Good. Yeah. So Seth through that. And then actually the former member of the band, a keyboard player, his wife reached out to me and like set up a play date for us. She was like, he really wants to be in a band. He's like really busy and a little bit shy and wouldn't ever do this for himself.
Yeah.
So because they had seen me play at a like PTO fun night at Old Hoover Elementary. Yeah, and then we've had kind of in a sort of Spinal Tap-ish way, we've had a series of drummers who have not died, but like been in the band and had to leave the band for a series of, unfortunate, unforeseen kinds of events. Most of those we found either like on Craigslist or through like friends of friends. So Al, who's on the album, was an amazing Craigslist find, because I didn't even really think Craigslist worked anymore.
I look at it occasionally just
for
to see what but it's just
and he was like, I respond to every drummer ad on Craigslist, and you're the first band that has ever written me back. And we've got our cousin Ned Alexander is playing with us this summer because Al's out for baseball and some other family reasons.
Yeah. I was hoping that you would say something about Al's wife, because the first two, it was just their wives, handed them to you.
Interesting. Yeah, I hadn't thought about that.
A wives band. Mm-hmm. People talk about dad rock a lot, and this is sort of like wife rock.
Right. Husband rock. Yeah.
What's your favorite track on the album? Do you have a favorite?
I don't have a favorite.
Yeah.
It's a good question. I think you're right. It's like your children, right? You can't, especially on a podcast, you can't say I love this one.
The songs will hear what you say.
The songs will hear and feel bad. Yeah.
Is there one, maybe not favorite, but is there one, let's narrow it down to the ones where you wrote the lyrics.
Yeah.
Were there any that were harder to finish? The ones you maybe spent the most time working on?
Interesting. Yeah. Not harder, I don't think. There's actually only 3 on here that I wrote. Our previous stuff has been more kind of 50-50 between Seth and I.
But Seth wrote more of this.
Seth has been having a songwriting renaissance.
Yeah,
he is
cool.
making songs
it's really
double
great.
Speed.
It's really great when you're in a partnership kind of thing, and the other person has an era like that where you can just oh yes, awesome, I'll support you, and then I don't have to work as hard.
Yes, yeah. And a little bit of I wish I had written some more, and well, that was a problem for 2023, Mark, to have solved. We're going into the studio tomorrow. I've written 3 songs in the last 4 years, so.
There they
awesome.
are.
Yeah, I'm glad Seth wrote a bunch, or else we wouldn't have any more. So the 3 that are mine are Summertime in Maine, which took a long time to germinate, but once I was we got to get this finished, it was, pretty quick.
Yeah. That's another thing that's not everybody is aware of. Once you have the constraints of time really pressing on you, that's when you get the best work done.
Yeah.
When there's a hard limit on you.
Yeah. I used to struggle with my students over that, because they'd be like, I'm so creative and awesome right before a deadline. And I'm like, well, it's not that you're more creative. There's just a deadline. You just have to do it then. Yeah. So that's why you're doing it then.
Yeah. So you can harness that energy earlier.
Totally.
Yeah. There's just less of an external force on you.
For sure. Yeah. And I mean, a lot of times, external forces are what
sometimes you need it.
Make us do things. Yeah. Right. Have I written any new songs since wishing that I had written more songs? No. So
I should have given you an assignment when I invited you here.
Right. Yeah. Well, I just reached out to a bunch of people about trying to start a songwriting group, a little bit of sort of workshopping and accountability, gets to boost that muscle. So Summertime in Maine. Yeah, sat around for a long time and then finished pretty quickly. Too Much for Me also came pretty quickly. That one was one where it's not so much my story as I had a person in mind and a story that I wanted to tell. Really? And it was kind of a little bit of a relief for it not to be me. I don't know. I generally
I listened to that and I thought I knew what it was about.
Oh, okay.
But I guess it's it wasn't about you.
True.
So, there's the job you had when I met you, you don't have anymore. And I kind of thought that song was about that.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's definitely adjacent to that job. It's somebody else at that institution. That's my perception.
There was just
of
something
their
familiar about the
internal
lyrics.
monologue. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and for anybody who's familiar with that institution, there's actually like a lot of fun, like Easter eggs and deep dives into institutional history and stuff. So if you're, if you like that sort of thing,
yeah,
you can go to our Genius Lyrics page and start annotating.
That's one I did not look up to see if those are up there yet.
Right. I don't think they are.
At genius.com.
Yeah. So that one also like came pretty quick once I had the idea. What's sort of fun, and I do want to get to the third one in a sec, but one of the nice things that I really liked about this album process is that like stuff changed a lot just kind of through the like iterative rehearsal process, so that one was definitely like more like acoustic depressive ballady in my head and sort of turned into this like kind of Green Day, power punk, poppy kind of sing along thing, which I think is like a great sort of soundtrack to like, internal monologue, imposter syndrome. Like, what am I doing here?
Yeah.
But it's like rah 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 rah.
Yeah, right. Relatable.
Yeah, for sure.
And it adds a fun energy to that feeling that I think most people are, at least kind of familiar with.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the last one, Bulletproof, is one we've been playing for a long time, and it like didn't make the cut on the first EP and then was like recorded for the second EP, which we never got out. Like it just sort of bogged down in production somewhere and then like the band,
the label just never,
that's right. We didn't get the A&R money that we needed. And so we couldn't record it where we wanted to. No. It's just sort of lost steam. And then like the personnel changed a little bit and the way we were playing those songs changed, but it's a song that I feel really proud of. So I was glad to kind of dust off the bones of that previous recording. Yeah. And then like move it up.
Yeah. I only listened to that one once, but what stuck with me was the line, "I'm not bulletproof anymore."
Yeah.
Which I like, because that means you were before.
Or thought right? I was. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. No, I mean, that like.
So that's like, is that like about getting older?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Just like. Yeah, it's both, just sort of like general getting older, and then that idea of like, I don't know, I feel like there were a lot of things that I sort of had on this, like, I could plausibly do that, like it would take some redirection, but like I could still become a heart surgeon or a professional baseball player or, and then that kind of realization of like, actually, like there are a lot of things that are no longer on the table. Yeah. And like of the things that are still on that, like I would really like to do them list, like it's probably time to like start thinking about trying to do them.
Okay. Yeah. Can we listen to the song?
Yeah.
And then maybe talk more?
I would love to.
Because that's, now that we're on that wavelength, right. I kind of want to get into that. Okay. Right. Bulletproof. It's not the LaRue song. Remember that song?
No.
This time, baby, I'm bulletproof.
I don't know it.
Oh, yeah. It was like when I was in college. I think it came out. Here it is, Bulletproof. Again, not the LaRue song.
Up next to a mountain, I chop it down with the palm of my hand. See the whole of the world in a single grain of sand. Tell myself I can't do anything. It might not be the truth. Stay up all night reading or 3 hours of sleep will be just fine. I know that I can carry on. Later on, I'm in a rage like a beast out of my cage. Just to prove that I'm not soft, kind of thing will set me off. Weaker than I was in my youth. I'm not bulletproof. I'm not bulletproof. Even though I'm a conductor, there are days I hardly move. I'll admit that I lack structure. I'm wanting to a comfortable groove. My body's seizing up and breaking down, spreading out and caving in. Nothing right about what's left, tipping over, turning under like a house without a roof. I'm not bulletproof. I'm not bulletproof. Get back what I lost. Get down from my cross. You can hear this sound. Guess I'll stick around. More and more I think about it. Someday I'm gonna die. My motto had always been that I was immortal until proven otherwise. Now and then it's down to me, faced with my mortality. And no matter how I spin it, there's a world without me in it. It's like a gunfight with the truth. I'm not bulletproof. I'm not bulletproof. I never have been bulletproof. I'm not bulletproof anymore.
Those fades will sound better in post.
Great.
Yeah, okay. The part that jumped out at me in there obviously was, even though I'm a conductor, there are days I hardly move.
Yeah, which dates the song, because the last time I was a conductor was the spring of 2019. So definitely.
Yeah. Is that, was that the truth though? There were days that you were hardly moving?
Yeah. Or just like super like sedentary, like get up and conduct, go back to the office, send a bunch of emails, do a bunch of class prep.
So the conducting is like your only exercise?
Yes.
Yeah.
Was. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you like conducting?
I did like conducting.
Yeah. But you haven't done it since 2019.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like the conducting part.
Mm-hmm.
I liked. There was a lot of the rest of it that I liked while I liked it, if that makes sense. And then like 15 years in, it was like, that was awesome. That was a great chapter. The next chapter needs to be different. Like, I feel like there are people for whom like chapter 2 is pretty much the same as chapter 1, or like a little bit better, who are just like, this is my calling. I'm going to teach philosophy 101 every fall for 60 years and like love it every time. And like, it just turned out that I wasn't one of those people necessarily.
Right. It wasn't a whole life kind of thing. I mean, I guess that's what the song's about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It didn't turn out to be, which was hard actually. I mean, to be like, but I got this degree and then like I got tenure and that, like I've sort of built this thing that I thought I wanted.
It's kind of set up like, once you reach that, that level, it's like you're set, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, and there's certainly a model where like you could keep doing it even if you weren't enjoying it anymore and just do it really poorly.
I've met some of those people.
Right. I think we all have, right? So that was part of it too, was like, well, I don't want chapter 2 to be like the same as chapter 1, except like bitter and really unhappy. Bad and unhappy and like not serving anybody. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So you mentioned earlier that you had this like 20-year break in your life where you weren't playing in a band like this.
Yeah.
But that's kind of what you were doing in that break, right? Like,
exactly.
You were not a musician.
Right. Yeah. I was like an academic musician and professor and getting a degree, getting a job, getting tenure, having some kids, I mean, there was, and like, yeah, again, and in hindsight, I mean, there's no reason that I couldn't have carved out 3 hours a week,
sure,
for rock and roll. But yeah, I just didn't. Like, it didn't seem like a priority.
Yeah,
at the time.
I don't think that this is the case for you, but did you feel at the time that like that, if you want to think about like high art and low art, like, I'm a professor now, so my job is to make like the real stuff.
Oh, no.
And I should set the childish ways aside.
No, I don't think so. I think more it was just like I'm prioritizing my time in the way that I think is right. Sure. Again, in hindsight, like I wish I hadn't, spent as many hours like grading papers and I mean, just, like that whole, like work-life balance, hard to navigate. Easy for like 52-year-old me to be like, why did you work so hard? Harder for like 25-year-old new job. I really want to keep this job. I really want to say yes to like everything that they tell me to do. Yeah. And I'll say, I think academia is better about that now a little bit. I mean, there's that concept of like, you could integrate your work and life and you could sometimes put down things and go home and play in a band. I think is more accepted. Maybe.
Yeah. I mean, even I was in grad school, 12-ish years ago. Yeah. 12 through 14 years ago. And at that time it felt like, if you're not completely dedicating 24 hours a day to this, like, this is not your career. It's like, okay, bye.
Right. Yeah. I mean, good for you. Yeah. For like, I mean, and I think like for a while it was, and I was happy about it. And then for a while it was, and I wasn't as happy about it. And then was like, okay, well, what,
sure,
what needs to change for there to be room.
But now feels more, you have things balanced the way that you like them.
Yeah. Yeah. It's much better than it was. I mean, and some of that's like my kids are older, like I just have more time. Sure. I'm in a second marriage where like I think both of us have more like outside interests and things we do, alone or in groups with other people. Like,
sure.
My wife plays on the roller derby team. I'm in this band. Like there are nights that one of us is out doing a cool, fun thing and the other one's like home with the kid. And I think, just like kind of getting more of that into perspective of like what's a good balance that keeps everybody at a like level of like happiness and fulfillment where like we can buy food and like pay the mortgage and also are like developing as human beings and,
right yeah so a lot of the things that you're describing in that song, like avenues that have maybe closed off to you now, but you also have a better understanding of like what you can do.
I like to think
now.
So. I hope. Yeah.
Yeah. What were some of those maybe like fantasies or dreams that, aside from, what you mentioned in the lyrics, like were there any dream careers that you didn't pursue?
Well, I mean, a professional baseball player, I really was like, I really, thought like maybe that would happen or could happen.
Don't take this the wrong way, but I feel like you have like the head of a professional baseball player. A lot of the baseball players I know like have like the shaved head.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. The rest of me, maybe not the torso or the like bat speed. But yeah. No, I don't feel it actually like there are maybe specific things. Just, I feel like especially choral conducting, like I just sort of wandered into it randomly, not completely randomly. I mean, obviously there were choices made, but like a lot of my peers in grad school, like being a choir director was what they had wanted to do since they were 8.
Yeah.
And for me, I feel like it was more of a like, oh, that seems interesting. Oh, what's going to happen if I go over here. Oh, that like opened one door, but I see like to open the next door, I might need a master's. Oh, that opened like a tiny side door, but like to, I mean, so it was like, I was really glad to have done it and enjoyed it. But yeah, it wasn't necessarily like the thing I've dreamed of.
Yeah, that
forever.
wasn't the vision.
But
Yeah.
I think maybe like not having a thing that I dreamed of forever let me just sort of follow that winding path.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
And I think from here, and having been able, hopefully, to like integrate more of the other parts of life a little better, that idea of like I'm going to be completely fulfilled and defined by my job. It has the need for that has ratcheted down, or I've dialed that down a lot, and have been like, that like what I do for work is, enjoyable and rewarding, and like not
how you buy the food,
how I define myself.
Yeah. That's something that's academia in general definitely encourages that kind of mindset as well.
For sure.
That, like,
yeah.
You are this, and this is you.
Yeah. So it's been interesting to still be in academia,
right?
But not,
you're not
but working to not be defined by what I'm doing in it.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, and it's kind of a different job. Like when you're
totally,
you're not the professor. Yeah. Well, let's go back further.
Yeah.
What were your bands like when you were like a teenager?
Yeah. So I did like a bunch of like bedroom recording as a high schooler.
Do you have any of that?
I think so.
Yeah, that would be cool. To let me listen to.
Yeah, and even like like dual cassette with a microphone, like playing the guitar into it, flipping it over to the other side.
Early Mountain Goat stuff.
Yeah, for sure. And then was in some sort of desultory high school bands, and then was in a lot of bands in college. Like I went to McAllister, and like it seemed like everybody I knew was in a band. I mean, there were probably like 20 bands on campus at any given time, like some of whom have gone on to like amazing greatness, and others who were just like amazing for, 2 months in the fall of 1993. And then we're never heard from again.
Yeah.
So
are there like bands that you went to college with that people would know now?
Well, I mean, like Walt Mink was the biggest one.
Okay.
And I mean, and they're not that big. They were like going to be Smashing Pumpkins if Smashing Pumpkins hadn't become
snatched that away.
Exactly. Yeah. Like they were both on Caroline at exactly the same time. Their drummer, Joey Waronker, is now like Oasis's touring drummer.
Yeah.
And plays with Beck and, does a bunch of stuff. And the other people from that band, I mean, there's actually a fair amount of Mac grads in like film music, and like there are people who were in rock bands that are still making music as their like art form, but maybe not rocking as much. That's probably, I mean, like Bob Mould went there, but not while I was there.
Did you go to the show that he played at the Angler a couple years ago?
I did.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, and I saw him at Codfish Hollow last year.
Oh yeah,
which was fantastic. Yeah.
That I was just remembering that because it was a really fun show, because he just like had an amp on stage and just like cranked it, and that was like the show.
He's like I feel like a role model, and just like rocking so hard at 72 or whatever. That's admirable. Yeah. Again, right. Like, what are your priorities about how you want your life to be, and then chase them. Yeah.
Sometimes you become Bob Mould.
Yeah.
I remember when I was in college, you had an old photo or something. Somehow I found out that you had attended a Rat concert.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I had a Rat shirt on, I think, in an old photo.
Is that, yeah.
Yeah, I was a huge, like early metal, hair metal, glam metal.
Yeah, so I was imagining that like that's what you were playing.
Yeah, I wish I wasn't good enough. I mean, like the thing about those bands, like they were pretty competent musicians, even within being like a lot of spandex and a lot of eye makeup. So yeah, I wasn't like a good enough player to play that kind of music competently, but would have loved to.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
Oh yeah. Speaking of technical competence, the last song we listened to, Bulletproof, that guitar line that you're playing. Can you actually play that and sing at the same time?
No.
Okay. I was going to say like that. I would struggle with that for sure.
No, I wish. I mean, and again, like, yeah. Maybe in a future reprioritization where it's like 20 hours of work and 20 hours of guitar practice a week. No, but from here, no. And I mean, and that was kind of the, like, again, the fun part of like, what is this song missing? Oh, I think it'd be cool if there was also like the keyboard player used to noodle
that
like
melodic
throughout
bits,
that whole thing there. Yeah. So it was like, how can we maybe have not quite so much noodling, but also like just strum chords and singing for 6 verses. It's gonna
give us a little bit of
get a little tiresome. Yeah,
string
just
melody.
look at my shirt, even though the music's not doing anything. Yeah.
Yeah, you could, I guess, make this like a video album, and then they can look at your like coordinated outfits.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that'll help.
Yep, family photos of the Alexander triplets.
Yeah, but that's something that always like amazes me when someone can play like lead and sing at the same time.
Yeah. No, wow. I mean, there's a couple of licks that I do in like a couple of our songs, but mostly, yeah, it's pretty straight ahead kind of Joe Strummer.
I can strum and sing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and sometimes even that's like a little bit of a
not too many chords,
a reach. Yeah, well, that's the other funny thing. Like Seth tends to write these like very stream of consciousness, little snippets of words and phrases from here and there, which is hard to memorize if they're not your little snippet.
Yeah.
I'm like, just, could you give me an arc? Could you give me like something happening in verse 2 that like relates to verse 1? He's like, oh no, it's all about like the trains in Bombay. I'm like,
it's a little more,
says you.
A little more abstract and arty.
Yep. Yeah. So yeah, often I'm like, maybe 60% of my brain is playing guitar and 40% is like remembering what the words are.
Right. Something has to be on autopilot a little bit.
Yeah, or just left out, and that's the lead.
Right. Okay, we are nearing an hour, which is kind of customarily how I do these things in hour chunks. But you got a bunch of shows lined up. Do you want to tell us about them?
Yeah, we're playing. Let's see. We're playing I don't know when this is dropping, but
probably later today.
Fantastic.
Quick turnaround.
Okay,
today.
Good. Yeah, we're playing the new like Northside Music Porch Fest this Sunday, the 31st. We'll be on at 4:15, somewhere in the 400 block of Davenport.
I have 414 East Davenport.
Yeah, that sounds
in my
right.
Notes.
4:15 Sunday. Next Saturday,
that's 6. That's tricky. It's at 414 East Davenport Street, but it starts at 4:15 p.m.
Right. But if you come at 4:14, we'll be there.
You won't be too
But
early.
if you go to 4:15, we won't be there. We'll be across the street.
But you won't be very far away.
You might still be able to hear us. Yeah. June 6th, Saturday, we're playing the Farmers Market. Always a super fun gig. It's like 3 hours. And that's Arts Fest weekend. So hopefully downtown will be full of good energy and fun. We're playing Lion Bridge in Cedar Rapids on Thursday, the 11th of June. Another interesting gig. They let their like license for whatever ASCAP, BMI, whatever license expire. Mm-hmm. So they're like, we would love to have you come and play, but you have to only play original music. And we were like, oh, twist our arm, I don't know if your crowd wants 2 hours of original music, but we will happily provide it.
That's cool.
Yeah. And then July 18th, we'll be at Cedar Ridge Distillery, opening for a band called Wonderful Smiths. The guy who mixed our record is the drummer for that band.
Better than the regular Smiths.
Better, yes.
Wonderful Smiths.
Wonderfuler. Yeah. Yeah.
I have even more if you...
Sure, yeah.
Mark's going off memory here, but I do have all these dates in my notes here.
Remind me.
Well, I have sometime in August. You're playing at the Hickory Hillapalooza.
Yes, TBD.
Yeah. Sunday, September 20th, you're playing at the Iowa City Bike Library's Farm Cycle.
Yes.
And then Saturday, October 17th, the Scattergood Friends School Harvest Festival.
Harvest Fest, yes. Yeah. That's good. And we'll be back at Refocus this year.
Nice.
So tell RogerEbert.com that we're...
Their favorite band
we're
is
on
playing
our way.
again.
Their favorite band is playing again with new shirts this year. Yeah. Yeah.
I think I'm also going to play something for Refocus.
Yeah.
Don't have details yet, but
awesome.
Probably just playing a Casio keyboard through a looper pedal or something.
Yeah, I love their anything you can set up in 12 seconds, you can play.
I just have some stuff on a table and I quickly drag the table out of the room.
That sounds awesome.
I do have a couple dates I'd like to mention while people are still tuned in. Pokey's Fest, the DIY punk festival in Iowa City, is occurring on June 12th through 14th. I'm going to be playing bass in the band Submission. I'm filling in because their bassist is out of town. I think they're playing on the Saturday, so the 13th, and then my band, Ascended Master, is playing on Sunday, the 14th. I'll be playing a solo set supporting Cast Off Form, a noise artist from Omaha, at Public Space 1 on June 27th. So I'd love to see all of you at all of those and go to all of the Golden Alexander shows as well.
Yeah.
There's a lot on the calendar here for you to attend, so we will be watching out to make sure you're there.
That's right. Come up and say hi.
Yeah, tell Mark that you heard him here and now you're at his show.
that would be amazing. Please do that. Yeah.
I like to end all of these with a song. So do you have an idea of like which song might be the best as a closer?
The best as a closer.
Probably the one you put at the end of the album, but
probably.
But for today, if you have any other ideas.
No, I think that's a good choice. Can I say one thing quick before we go to the closer?
We don't have to stop yet either.
Yeah, no, it's good. I have a 2:30 meeting that I have to get back to the other side of town for. I feel like I grew as a teacher and professor while I was at Co, and so I'm like this feels weird, but I feel like there were times that I was like very pedantic with you. Specifically, like you were going to somebody's wedding, and I was like, "Well, that's
you remember
that's that's an unexcused absence that I'm afraid it's going to affect your grade." And
that's
like,
very funny that you remember that.
That's like early Professor Falk. I mean, and since then, like I've seen that in so many colleagues. Like you get there fresh, you're young, you're like, I need to build these walls and boundaries and like hold tight to the rules, and be like a hard ass about it. And so like I just want to apologize for young Professor Falk being like, I think, kind of a jerk about a family wedding, which seems from here like a pretty important and legitimate thing to want to go to.
I do remember that, and I remember there being some tension there, but it's, I forgive you, and also I have not seen those people in so long. So the wedding wasn't that important anyway.
Yeah. All right. Fair enough. Good.
So I think we're all good.
Yeah. Super. Well, I appreciate getting the chance to say that.
Yeah. Thank you.
Let's see. Wow. Well, I'll say I'm torn between wanting to do the like co-college punk track just because it'd be fun to have more people hear that.
Yeah.
Can we play that?
Yeah.
Cool.
So that's Too Much for Me.
Too Much for Me. Yeah.
All right. That's going to close us out for today. Too Much for Me by Golden Alexander. You can go find the album Summertime in Maine. Basically everywhere that music is. So go check it out and go to one of the shows. And again, tell Mark that you heard him here on iHearIC Radio and now you're at his show.
Yeah. Thanks, Justin.
You're following him around. Hey, it's me from the future, breaking in here in post because after Mark left my house, he realized something as he was driving away, so he called me. And it turns out we just happened to, as we were like choosing songs to listen to for this episode, we only chose the ones that he himself wrote. So he was feeling like this is not really an accurate portrayal of the band Golden Alexander if we only listen to the Marc Falk composed songs. So to mix it up a little bit and to give more of like a full picture of the band, we changed our minds and we're gonna close out with the closing track from the album, which is Good For Me, which was composed by Mark's bandmate Seth. So if you do want to hear Too Much For Me, you're going to have to go actually listen to the album. So go hunt it down if you were intrigued by the way we were talking about it. But instead, here's Good For Me.
Had this feeling for some time. Comes and goes every now and then, but it's coming more than it's going these days. Been a little bit lazy to say it. Truth be told, sometimes it's so right. I'd be lying to both of us, baby, if I didn't say that it keeps me up at night. Took some time to do a little thinking. To picture how it'd be. I like to say it'd be good for you, but I know it's good for me. You might not like it now, but I think you'll see. break up. More like a parting of the ways. I expect that you'll say that you hate me, but I think you'd hate me more if I would stay. There's a time to hold on to what you've got. There's also a time for something new. We both got something to take from this. I know I got at least a song or two.